I wanted to make this quick video about the bow. When you take up the violin, and if you're using it just for stress relief, for making your own music, for PTSD, whether you're reading tab or reading music the traditional way, when you get a new violin and a new bow, the bow is made out of horsehair, and usually Brazil wood. Bows can be inexpensive, like this one that comes with this violin, or very expensive if you're a professional musician. But one thing they have in common is when they're brand new, very likely that you will not get a sound from the violin with the bow. Now, when you store them, you leave them loose. There's a way on the end here to loosen or tighten the hair. Right now this one is loose, so let me go ahead and tighten it up. But the reason I'm making the video is because I've tightened it up a little bit. It's not as tight as I usually have it. And you don't have to be holding the violin. Right now what I'm doing is getting the bow ready to play. See how there's no noise? Or very little noise? Now let me tighten it just a little bit more. What you see here is called rosin, and every violin will come with, usually, rosin. And you take the bow, and I'm doing it with the cloth there in the way, but you rub the bow back and forth on the rosin, and you need to get rosin on the bow, and you can see the horsehair is tighter now. And without rosin on the bow, it's much more difficult, if not impossible, to get a sound out of the strings. And you want to get it on there evenly. This is still not a sound. So this is a brand new, inexpensive bow, and every day for 3 days I've been sitting here putting rosin on it until I get it to the point where I know I'll get a good sound out of the violin. So a lot of people get frustrated at the beginning with a violin because you know, they say, I can't even get a noise out of it, let alone make sure the notes are right. And that's generally why. So don't give up. Just get your rosin on the bow. So what I've done, I've tightened the bow up. That's how tight I like it. I don't know how tight other people like it. The E string, which is the highest string, and the violin is kind of upside down right now, is more difficult to get a clear note out of. But I put more rosin on this. And you can see on the higher note strings, still not quite there. It just takes time. And by the way, these strings are not tuned at this point. They're tightened. These, on a silent or electric violin that has this little bridge foot, it's very easy to just put the bridge there with the bridge standing upright, put the strings in place, tighten them, and I haven't even started to tune the violin because you really need to be able to tell what the notes are before you can tune it. And you can see, I haven't been doing it all day for 3 days, but for like 10 minutes at a time I'm putting rosin on this bow because I've had other things, you know, going on. So if I, you know, had just purchased this and opened it up, let's say a couple of hours of rosining up the bow, and before you even start to tune the violin. It gets addictive. It gets addictive, and when you have your E string just right and your bow just right, it can be addictive. So have fun.